Hello, Malik Harrington here, Family Budget Fisherman. Thank you for tuning in to this another special episode on this channel. You read it in the thumbnail and the description below the thumbnail. I'm going to be giving you my very best comparison and contrast of the NRX Plus, which you see here, versus the Conquest. G Loomis NRX Plus, G Loomis Conquest. So let's get started. All right. Now I know that I have put out a couple of videos, one very similar to this one, but I hadn't put the hours in on, excuse me, I hadn't put the hours in on the Conquest. It has been and still is my favorite rod, and I've had on the NRX Plus for well over a year, maybe 2 years, or whenever, it came out. So I got a chance to do them head to head, and I was surprised that there were no other videos doing a head to head between the two that I'm aware of. So here I'm doing a head to head. First, you have the model numbers for the NRX Plus and the G Loomis Conquest, for the G Loomis NRX Plus and the G Loomis Conquest. They're both the same model numbers, the N02S SJR. They're both the same model, okay? The NRX Plus has a line rating that is 6-pound test on the low end, 12-pound test on the high end, and the Conquest has a line rating of 8-pound test on the low end, 14-pound test on the high end, and the NRX Plus has a lure rating of 1/8 ounce on the low end, just as the NRX Plus, as the Conquest, but the NRX Plus caps at 3/8 ounces, whereas the Conquest goes all the way to a half. So there's about 1/8 of an inch difference. So technically, that makes your Conquest the power rod and your NRX Plus the finesse rod. But now there are some distinctions, okay, technical distinctions. The Conquest literally has everything, every technological advance short of going to the Poison Ultima, which is a whole different experience in rods. But I'm talking about in terms of the classic high end, where you're looking at top of the line going all the way down through the brand itself, G Loomis, even down into Shimano over the years. The Conquest, the G Loomis Conquest, has it all. There is one exception, that the guides, these are Shimano's custom guides, and these are I forget the name of it. I'm going to put it right down here. But these are the top of the line third-party guides. Okay. Now, with those two distinctions known, this has Spiral X and X Core, X Power, where this only has Spiral X. The NRX Plus is a lighter rod, and they're the same length, by the way, is a lighter rod than the G Loomis Conquest. Not by much, but it is notably lighter. Okay. The reason I have the Stella on the G Loomis Conquest is because it is a power reel. It's known to be a power reel, and I put a power reel on what I believe to be a power spinning rod, versus the X-Sense, which is known to be a finesse reel on a more finesse rod. Okay. I have learned a lot. I put more than 120 hours since I bought it, 20 days straight on the G Loomis, and I've learned a lot. You've seen a lot of my shorts that I've posted online on the various social medias, and I can tell you that if you can afford it, you need to get both of these. Okay, you need to get both combos, just as I have them. NRX Plus with the X-Sense, with the Shimano X-Sense, and the G Loomis Conquest with the Stella. This is the top of the line. This is the best experience you're going to have. This is the Rolls Royce experience right here. Okay. with these two rods. If it's a budget issue, go with the finesse setup, the NRX Plus. If you don't have as much of a budget issue, and that's really, really subjective when you're talking about this level of expense, go with the Conquest. And here's the reason why. There's about a 40% overlap in terms of what you can do with each one of these rods. About a 40% overlap. Well, I will say though, however, that the Conquest handles finesse applications better than the NRX Plus handling power applications. And yes, I put a jackhammer on both rods. I threw swim baits, I threw crankbaits, I threw topwater, torpedoes, pencil poppers. I stay within the lure ratings of each one of the rods. But I threw both power and finesse, bass jigs, and the whole bit. And I can tell you, with the NRX having the softer tip, this is the reason why I'm saying that it handles power a little bit less well than the Conquest does. Now, having said that, there is about a tie when it comes to crankbaits, because the softer tip on the NRX Plus doesn't pull as much. But having said that, you don't have as much of a problem with this. They both of them cast just about the same distance, maybe within a foot of one another, so you don't have that problem. The retrieve, you can see everything else is so similar that you shouldn't have much of an issue with them. However, in specialty applications, you're still going to have a better experience with the Loomis Conquest, even though this is an 8-year-old rod. It's just got all the technology that all of the others don't have. One of the things it doesn't have, the monocoque handles, but Loomis skipped over the monocoque handles for these and popped them up to the Shimano, and I think that's going to stay on the Shimano line. I doubt very seriously that Shimano's going to give the Loomis lines monocoque handles. For good reason. They don't need them. They really don't need them. I got enough monocoque handles over there. They don't need. They don't need. Stay on the Shimano line. So that is my report. I've caught well over 100 fish on the Loomis Conquest. I've even had fun, as you can see, with the urchin baits, and it has been a very fun experience. And as I mentioned to you all before, you're going to really enjoy fishing this much more when you have these combos in your hand. The experience it's hard to explain the difference. But by no means should you break your family's budget trying to buy any of this equipment. But by every legal and ethical means, do me a favor, get out there and break your personal best. I'll see you in the next video and in the comments below. Take care. Be blessed.